Hello, everybody. I'm barbieshaye. What's up? What's up? Happy Saturday. Who else is just at their home live streaming on a Saturday night? Me, because I'm a freaking nerd. Yeah, so there's this thing in the feminist, sphere that really, really bothers me. I have coined it, I've started calling it fadism, which is a play on feminism and fad. While I don't believe that this type of feminism is particularly a fad, I dislike how shallow it can be, which is really frustrating. And man, it's just it's hard to explain. I see things on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, that's all this feminist stuff, but it's very surface level. It's very girl power, femme ain't frail, girls can do anything boys can do, you're all beautiful, stuff like that. And that's important stuff to say, yes. That's amazing, it's all true. But there's a point where that shouldn't be considered feminism at this point. That should be considered point blank. I feel like most people at this point, I feel like if I went up to a random guy on the street and was like, hey, can girls do anything boys can do? I feel like he'd be like, yeah. And then I'd be like, well, are you a feminist? He'd be like, you know? So I feel like there's this new threshold, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's so amazing that there's a new threshold of feminism. However, we have a lot of people who claim to be feminists who are staying at this low level of girls can do anything, girls rule the world, future is female, a huge critique of the women's marches is that they're not really doing anything. They're just, most of the women there are just having a competition who can have the most clever sign, which I know that some of that is definitely not true because I believe they have speakers and huge events. I've never been to one and I'd love to go, but I do see that when you see pictures of the women's march, you see thousands and thousands of women with pussy hats and signs. And some of the signs are very basic feminism. And I think we're doing a disservice to ourselves by considering this baseline act of yeah, girls and boys are the same. Girls rock and girls can do anything. Okay, yeah. But that doesn't stop rape. That doesn't stop genital mutilation. That doesn't stop these other problems that feminism has. I feel like women as a collective have a raised self-esteem and raised perception and perspective of what we can achieve in our lifetime, which is much greater than maybe even 20 years ago, which again is incredible. But now we need to move past that. We need to move past the all women are beautiful. Again, important, keep saying it. But don't let that be the basis of your feminism. Your feminism needs to be higher, it needs to be deeper, it needs to have more of an impact. Because calling yourself a feminist at this point, if you call yourself a feminist, you can't just be like, oh, I'm a feminist because I believe in equality between men and women. Because it's well, good, so do a good amount of people, at least on the surface. But what are you doing? What are you focusing on? What are you telling people that's moving women forward? And we have another area of that, which is gender nonconforming and transgender folk, which brings feminism back down when they use pussy hats because not all women have pussies. And and the future is female. Well, where are the trans and gender nonconforming people in this female future? Do they get pushed down like women have been pushed down? How are we treating these people? Because our rhetorics of our very pro women rhetorics, which often include the uterus, ovaries, pussies, clitorises as symbols as icons is very detrimental to this group of women who don't necessarily fit in, even intersex women that don't fit in with this perception of what women are, and it does a great disservice. So we as feminists need to stop being so basic level, bottom level of, like, yeah, girls can do anything. Cool. Gotcha. Literally, I think if I did a survey, probably 75 to 90% of random people would believe that. Now, do they practice it? That's a different thing. But we need to start talking about, like, catcalling is a big deal, but I feel like on the scale of women's objectification, it's not super, super, super detrimental. What we need to focus on is sexual assault, rape, like harsh objectification, how the media treats women, how the government treats women, how the media treats women in government, stuff like that. Because that's what trickles down. Because one guy randomly yelling at you in the street, like, sucks. It's scary. And it's not okay. But where does he get the sign that it's okay? From the media, from the government, from what he sees. So telling him that what he's doing is wrong is not going to affect him. But telling the media what they're doing is wrong and getting control of the media, getting control of the government, getting in control of the schools and the institutions that trickle down all the information to guys like that, that fixes things. So that's what we need to be focusing on. We don't need to be telling women, I mean, it's important to tell women that they're all beautiful, but we need to change the rhetoric to, you don't need to be beautiful. The world does not end if you're not beautiful. But we need the media to back us up on that. We need photoshopping to stop. We need diverse modeling. We need less of an emphasis on beauty products and beauty and diets and the regular lives of celebrities. There's so many things that the media does to perpetuate this ideal of who we're supposed to be that is so subtle that I don't even know if the media knows that they're doing it anymore. We need to infiltrate the media. We need to have control of magazines, television shows, news outlets, and change that, because that trickles down as well. Because, I mean, if you think about the way villains are portrayed, this is just an example, but if you think of the way that villains are portrayed, like female villains, like witches, they're very Jewish, they have the nose and they have other characteristics that make them Jewish. It's mostly the nose, I believe, but this perpetuates an ugliness to, and as you could see in like Glee or like even in real life, like people think that larger noses are not beautiful, which gives them a great amount of low self-esteem, and that's detrimental, because self-esteem is everything. Self-esteem is your human perception of yourself, and to let the media have control of that is so frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. It's frustrating and it's detrimental to women's health and men's health and non-binary people, because where are they? I don't see them in the media, very rarely. But this all women are beautiful thing, it's great, but it's basic. Because all women are beautiful still implies that women have to be beautiful. It still implies that, when you go to work, when you go to your job interviews, when you go to church, you're expected to look good. You're expected to wear makeup. You're expected to be beautiful, because according to the world and to the feminists, you are beautiful. Or according to the media, you're not beautiful enough. So be more beautiful. And that contributes to our objectification, is saying we're all beautiful, is saying that we're all basing our worth off of our looks, and then objectification is able to continue. So these basic principles that have guided feminism for so long, so white women have been able to vote, and then everybody else, because good gosh, it should have been way earlier, but that's fine. every woman should be able to vote at the same time. But like, since voting, like, there's been a rhetoric, girls can do anything that boys can do, and that was really controversial. That was super controversial. But then we move forward, you know, and all women are beautiful. That was super controversial. But now we have to keep moving forward. We have to keep pushing beyond these boundaries of basic things of, I'm a woman and I have autonomy. Because, again, there are anomalies. There are anomalies. There are people who don't believe that. There are absolute butt faces, douchebags who don't think that women have autonomy. But these people are not as important to the movement as people that we need to be wrangling in. People who already call themselves feminists, who are like not even doing the groundwork. You know what I mean? And that's why I call it fadism. Fadism is when someone calls themselves a feminist, but they're doing it more because they're like, oh, I believe in women and men equality, blah, blah, blah. Or like, I love my girlfriend and she's a feminist, so I guess I'll be one. No, you have to do work. Because if nobody does work, but everybody calls themselves a feminist, then there's no movement. There's no movement anywhere. There's no progression. There's no forward thinking. It's everyone just saying, well, I believe that women and men are equal, so everything's fixed. Everyone's beautiful, so there's no objectification, no immediate impact. You know, I call out my cat collars, so objectification stops. You know? And that is going to make or break feminism, is whether or not we can get people to organize in a way that isn't very basic and very simple. So that I'm going to leave this here. I hope that you watch this past me streaming it, because I think this is a really important video. Excuse me. So thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram as barbieshaye. You can follow me on Twitter as Barbie_Shaye, Tumblr on barbieshaye, and you know me here. So thank you so much. If you have any reactions to this, I want to know what your opinion is, because again, we can't move forward without having a conversation. Yeah, so thank you so much. Bye.